G'day everyone, I'm artist Dowsent and this is my latest Anzac portrait of Mr. Allan Brideoake. And the painting features a very special book which I'm going to talk to you about in our third and final video. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy part 2 of our interview with Mr. Allan Brideoake.
Then we start on these forced marches. March along to a job when we get to, this is our camp, in the middle of a jungle, near the River Kwai. Well, we'd have to set about clearing the camp, jungle, try and make something to sleep under. Most of the time we didn't have anything. Had a bit of cooking gear. I used to carry that an old quarry thing that carried to sort of cook things in, and try and feed everybody. And right, I would just sit up there for a day or two and then off again. Sick blokes, you know, to carry them. Some of them were left. I know they were shot, some of them, you know, they fell, dropped off. But gradually got up there and settled into a little bit more permanent working places. But we were in old tents, sleeping on the ground, rain, didn't make, you know, the monsoon. And you dug a little hole so you put your hip in. You just laying in water, your hip would be in water all night. Next morning out, daylight, working. All that railway was built, the bankments and that, there was no machinery, all baskets of dirt. You carried baskets of dirt, worked all day. Then we come to the Hellfire Pass, because up north there was another party coming down. We worked on Hellfire Pass. That was christened. They were tapping into it work day and night, and they had bushes burning and wood burn. That's where the Hellfire Pass burned so they could see. No electric lights, no machinery, no nothing. Yes, and only the supplies come up by boat. Yeah, come up by boat, and we just walked all the way, one end of it to the other. Probably walk 50 miles a day.
What were you wearing then? Because you had shorts and boots when you're at Changi.
Yeah,
and then obviously,
but we wore all them out up there.
Yeah, the jungle would have rotted clothes.
Oh yeah, rotted them. We ended up with G-strings. You know what a G-string is?
Yeah.
Well, we'd tear up an old tent or something and make one out of, you know, make a lap, you know.
Shirts? Did you have a shirt?
No, it's just bare skin. Oh, black, it was all work. And yes, and we all, you know, had no shaving gear, and we were whiskered, and well, some of the blokes had a set of scissors somewhere. Well, used to cut off their beards. Make it feel a little bit better. We didn't like our beards, but look, honestly and truly, and mud, slush, raining all the time, sick blokes, dying all round you. You know, you have to always try to be with somebody if he was dying, and then cholera broke out. And I don't know if you've ever heard of how it works. See a poor bloke, he'd be at work, he'd go into the bush and he's got dysentery. He'd start passing white, like milk, that's it, cholera. He'd come back and he'd start telling, well, he said, I've got it. They all knew it was a death sentence. And get back home and tell them what happened. No, he'd have a good talk, yeah. Then he'd go into, he'd be sweating, vomiting, diarrhoea, and he probably died that night. But we used to be with them, and just, it was fate, you know. I didn't know, I was lucky enough I didn't get it. But there's dozens and dozens and dozens and got it, you know. Especially in the wet season, it travelled a lot in the wet season. Used to frighten the Japs too. And then they gave us vaccinations for cholera, but it didn't work. We had a great old doctor there. We had a Dave Hinder, a marvellous old doctor. He was a doctor that got his degree during the Depression. He used to go out drover's cook he was, and he went at drover's cook and fruit picking down the riverina. That's the doctor, and he used to tell me he never ever thought he'd be cholera or malaria. He said he was in the middle of it. And he had a little scalpel and a needle, a big old needle like a bag needle, nearly as thick as your finger. And I had a little razor stone, and I used to sharpen his scalpel for him, and this needle, I used to tell him that I'd have first hit of that needle. We agreed on that. I carried a bullet in between my bones there, my arm. We didn't know what it was, but it was always weeping. And he used to say to me, keep that fire, don't let that get infected. And, you know, well, I come back with a scalpel one day in his needle, and I think it was a half a day off we had. He said, on the table there, he said, I'm going to have a look what's in your arm. And I told him what I was going to do to him a few times. I was going to kill him, and he hurt me. And he got a little bullet out. A little very small bullet. Yeah, and it healed up overnight.
So where would you have gotten that bullet from, Allan?
In action, yeah, in Singapore, in action, yeah.
Mm.
No, old Dave, he was a marvellous old doctor. I did run into Weary Dunlop up there a few times. He was a good old doctor, he did a good job, but he was a senior man, he was a colonel. But he didn't do any more than anybody else up there. Those doctors were marvellous. And that, Win Stanley done a good story. Haven't we heard his story on the doctors? Yeah, well, Dunlop was very, but he did a good job post-war when he got home. For a lot of the prisoners of war he did. Weary Dunlop. But my old favourite was old Dave Hinder. A good old man, good poor old fellow, and very quiet going old man. But, they're all gone now.
Mm.
Yes, well, the old major, he said, Bridie, you've got to get into the kitchen, there's a chap's got a pig there, he wants you to dress it. So I goes down to the Jap kitchen, and they got this pig in the basket. So there, righto, he gave me this old knife. So I stuck him while he's in the basket, you know, you bleed him. He bled him and tipped him out. The Jap's showing me how to do him. He's pouring, he had a great big quarry there thing of boiling water, and he kept boiling water on him. And it goes sticky too much, you know, too hot of water, they go gluey. The skin, they've got a sort of a double skin, you know, on the hair. And I was trying to tell him, and nearly got knocked over a couple of times because I wouldn't, you know, I'm trying to tell him. And so anyhow, we were a long time trying to do it. So I thought, well, you bugger, I'll go with you. So the head was, we hadn't touched the head. There was a lot of blood and dirt around the neck where I'd stuck him. And this black woolly head. And so anyhow, I'm going through my mind, I'm going to get this head off him one day. I might talk him into it, see. So anyhow, after about an hour, he was sick of the look of the pig, and so was I. So we gutted him and everything, and hadn't touched the head. So I said, put it on him, could he give me the placenta to me for the head? He thought for a second or two, yeah, okay. All yours, see, so righto. So when we finished, I headed back to our tents way down about half a mile away. I got a pig's head under me. Got back and lined up a few sick blokes there. I said, get a fire going, buckets boiling. We're going in, so I cleaned his head up. Took all the hair off it and cleaned it right up, it looked good. And I went back, when I cut his head off, I left the big jowls on him at the back, you know. I got way back, instead of right behind the ears, you cut a pig's head off, right. I went back 3 or 4 inches behind the ears and got a lot of the jowl, because they're all fat. So I was inexperienced at pig's head, so I got some fella near these little onions. I got a few little onions, fell out a bit of salt somewhere. If they'd help me, they could get a Dixie of pig stew, pig's head stew. So I cleaned his teeth up and everything. Oh, I had him looking good. Boiled it all up, it boiled and boiled and boiled, and about 4 o'clock that afternoon, we into it. All some of my mates, but most of them read on the line, see. So yeah, right, we all gorged ourselves with this pig stew. Well, I suppose about a third of it was fat and blubber off this fat pig. Well, about 11 o'clock that night it worked on them. Everybody coming out of the, fly out of the tent with their legs crossed, trying to do a rain dance. Setting themselves trying to get to the toilet and abusing me, bloody Brideoake and his pig's head. Yeah. So I wasn't real popular there for a day or two after that. But I finished up, I did another one. I was awake up next time. So what I did, I got the head again, and I cleaned it all up, and all that we had an old pan and grilled all the fat out of it. Grilled all the fat, and we had find a container with lard, you know, we'd have a bit of rice, and you'd put a spoonful of lard, pig's fat on it. Yeah, this rice we'll eat, put a spoonful of lard on it, and it sounds appetising, doesn't it? But it was good. Wood coffles, they used to be the big funeral directors in Sydney before the war, wood coffles. You know, they were the biggest funeral directors in Sydney. And I was poor, I was like a skeleton walking around. Here comes wood coffles mannequin. That's what they just said it, but they'd just forgotten about it. But I was always bridey. Used to be working in hellfire bars.
Yeah.
Bash, you know, getting bashed out in the line and starving. And I got a job, as I said, once a week. That was my good day off there to kill a yak. And to kill the yak, I don't know whether you know anything about hanging up or anything. You've got to get it up off the ground to dress it properly and keep it clean. No, I'm real bushy. You get a long pole. Cut a long pole, you know, or 30 or 40 foot long, and you find a fork in a tree. Lay it in the fork. Can you follow me? There's a long way back here. Lay it there, across in there like that, and that way be looking at this fork in the tree. Well, you'd have a hook up here. We used to make a thing you put between the shanks and the hamstring, you know, like a bar across. And then when the time comes, we'd pull it right down, lift it up, and pull it right down and hook it onto the body of beef. And we'd have a bit of rope or hide hanging on the end of the long part, the back. We'd pull that down and that'd lift that up. And they'd peg it down on the ground. You'd dress it, you know, and I I used to think I could make some tripe and all that. And there's another one there. I could see this wasn't much, you know, you'd bone it out, you'd boil the bones up, it even kept the blood. And if you mix blood up with your fingers, keep mixing fresh blood up, you finish up with a little ball in it. You know, it's like cobwebs coming through your fingers. You get that out and the blood won't congeal. Then it's just blood. And so they pour that in the soup, you know, make it a bit of a stew. Boil the bones, all up the bones, and there wouldn't be an ounce of meat on. There wasn't much meat on the whole thing anyhow. And then I used to look at the guts and all that, you know, and I thought, I started to make a bit of tripe, keep off the line. That might get me to go to work again. So, you know, I got down the river and I'm washing it. And I don't know whether you try to make tripe or not. You're washing it, and it's dirty. And you'd boil it, and the scum would come on the top, and you'd skim that off. But it was something to eat, you know, it was something to eat. And boil it all up, and then I'd get it up on this table, and I had a little old knife, and I'd cut it up into pieces. And I'd cook it up, and the blokes, sick blokes, I'd take some round to them. In the unit, you know, they couldn't walk even, some of them. And I'd give them a little bit of this stew I'd made out of the tripe. Oh, shocking, but I'd eat, we'd all eat it. I wouldn't be sitting here if we didn't try it. So anyhow, I can remember there was an orderly bloke there, there was a medical orderly bloke. He was there, and I said to him, "Where's your Dixie?" He said, "Righty, I don't want any." He said, "That's the sick blokes." I said, "Yeah, that'll be you." I said, "Do you want to get home?" Yeah, I'd get stuck into him. I said, "Look, you can't go down." I said, "We've got to keep you going." He wasn't travelling too good either. I said, "Have a bit of this." Look, I said, "Where's your Dixie?" And I found it. I put something on. I never said, wouldn't argue with him, I wouldn't talk. I put it down. I knew he was having a bit. And I said, "I'm not going to say nothing." I wouldn't talk to him. I said, "I'm going to try and look after you." I said, "I might get cooked one day, and you would look after me." And I had nothing said. He was quite sort of a fellow. And anyhow, that went on. We got picked out then to go to Japan after a while, and the Japs went all over us. And they examine you. They got to go all over you, and then you had to bend down. They stick a glass rod in your thing, you know. So we copped that, and we all laugh and laugh. We know what's going on, blokes. So we just finish up. We get on this train. We're going back down to Singapore. It's about another 4 or 5 days travel, and then locked in the Louvre vans. Give us the rice again, and anyhow it was shocking. And anyhow I can remember we were all scared after a few days of the rice going off. It was going green, it was, but we were keeping some, you know, to see us down. And it was going off, and we weren't going to dysentery and all that. And I can remember just before we got to Singapore, just on the outskirts, we stopped shunting around. All these little kids running along, you know, the side and holding their hand out as they need food. They're starving, they were. So I can remember we emptied that tub out, and there was a bit of rice in it. And we did a shocking thing apparently. When we went off, there's a couple of kids dead there. They'd trampled them to death. Yeah, they were that starving in Singapore. The Japs wouldn't give them there because they're all short of food. And so anyhow, we gets down there and we got put in a big area, undercover, and they were building a big shed. They're going to cement it. And they had all the rock and stones in there to put the cement on top. That's where we slept 2 nights, on these rocks. And then we heard, we're just near the wharves, we saw our boat and we said, "Oh God, we can't go on that." No way we can. It was a shocker. yeah, that's it, that's the one we're going on. And in a Russian Maru or something, but we christened it Brideoake Maru. Brideoake is sick in Japanese, so he was sick Maru. And so anyhow, time to come to load us. They're going up and they're putting down in underneath the holes. And we're bushies, you know, come from the bush, and we're ringing a bit. You got rogue sheep or rogue cattle, they ring a bit. You know, keep ringing. And anyhow, got down and they got nearly all of them down underneath, and we still, they won't take us. Yeah, anyhow, there's no room left underneath, so they put us on deck. It was a godsend. You know, it was nice fresh air, and we were all 70 days out in the open. Rain, sun, rain, storms, everything, but still worth it. And we had a little roll, it'd rain, we just, you know, we'd laying there, we'd sit up and sit on trying to keep it dry. And nobody to go cook, nobody to say nothing, you know, past all that. And oh, anyhow, when we first got ready to go, the toilets had boxes strapped on the side of the hull, you know, over the rail. And you got in the box, and anyhow, paper was out. Well, first up, when we first week, we had this fellow, Don Abbott, a funny bloke. We christened him Hank. He grew a moustache. He's about 6'2", christened him Hank. And a funny bloke. He's over there squatting in this box, and it might sound a bit rough, and he wiped his bum with this bit of paper he'd found somewhere, he kept it. And anyhow, we're out at sea blowing along, you know, rock. He let this bit of paper go and smacked this bloke over the face. God, you dirty bastard, what's what you doing, you know? He looked up at this mistake, look, yeah, you were lucky, he said, that was only the bloody polishing bit, he said. Yeah, oh God, he was a funny man. Yeah, so we got on that way, and this fellow that I'd give the orderly, this medical orderly, he was on there. We had a dinner one night. They give us a little bit of rice, and they had this basket of fish, dried fish, salted fish, in a sort of wicker basket. And they lift off one, put it, only little ones like that, and put it on the little bit of rice we had. And then I must have got a bad one, cooked one. Holy Moses, I was cooked. I had these pains. I was roaring with pain. And I got on the deck, I was out on the deck, got away from where we came, towards the toilet. I'm laying there, and I used to go into a fit, you know, like a dog poison. And just every come on you it would, you know, and then, oh. So the next thing this fella, he says, is that you, Bridie? And I said, yeah, and it was this orderly bloke. I can't think of his name, I'll wait a minute. And I said, yeah. He said, what? Oh no, there was some rope tied old machinery on there, roped on. I put 2 half-hitches on the ankle. I thought, well, I'm in one of these fits and only about that high and out over the sea. And I thought, if I go into these fits, I'll end up over there. So I put this 2 half-hitches around me. And he looked, he said, what's wrong with you? And I told him. And I said, I think I could feel it coming again. And he hung on to me. And he said, you hang on there and don't untie that bloody rope. He went back down, he was underneath with the crowd. He'd come up the ladder and gone to the toilet. And he come back and he gave me a tablet. And he said, don't you tell any bugger that I gave you that tablet. Apparently it was a morphine tablet or something. He gave me. He said, don't you tell anybody you got it from me. I said, all right. Funny, and I got a few but I never got that really one again. And I always say that was, he's looking after me for me looking after him. That's another good turn. I got returned 100 times over. Yes, but anyhow, as I say, going along, this toilet paper was out, and so I reckon got onto the what he calls the Asian idea, and it was a bottle of water. So anyhow, we had some of the men got a pair of boots somewhere. They got a pair of boots from somewhere, but anyhow, this bloke, he got a pair of boots on. He's heading overboard. He got a bottle of water. Coming back and he's going crook. What's wrong with you? He said, bloody Asians and slit-eyed bastards and go on. What happened? He says, I ended up, he says, with a, what is it, a boat full of bloody water and a handful of shit and an empty bottle. That was his version of it. Oh, man. But anyway, I went on there, as I say, all the time, and then we run into the submarines. Oh, we were 20 odd days at Manila Harbour in the Philippines. There was 16 ships in the convoy. A couple of days they took off, and we'd go out, we'd be half a day out, and they'd chuck a U back in where we started again. That went on 2 or 3 times. And this morning they up anchored and away we went again. And they kept going, they never stopped, and about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, sailing along, and we're outside. We heard the bang, and we looked up, and we could see the torpedoes coming. See them going through the water. And the ships going down all around us. Yeah, beautiful ships going down all around us. And we were just ready, waiting for the time. And we didn't get it. And they got most of the ships there, the boats. And they had a bit of an escort there. Next thing they're racing up and down, rolling these, what do you call them, mines off.
Depth charges.
Yeah, bomb that blow the sea up, for submarines.
Depth charges.
Depth charges, they're rolling the depth charges. And the whole boat would shake, and even the rust off this whole boat was dropping down on us when the charge went off. We were all burnt out, where it had been a fire where we were. And they had a temporary bridge on the back of it. So anyhow, we got through that. And then of course later on we run into the storm. And then what ships survived that, some of them went down the storm. We thought we've got to go this time, the storm, but he found an island and he ran into a little island, little bay in it, and he got in there. Well, the storm finished. Yeah, and then we limped to Japan. Limped off to Japan. There's only about 3 of us. And we were close to Japan, we had no escort, no nothing, so there was nobody around. Submarines ran close to Japan those days. And,
so there was 3 ships made it?
Yeah,
out of
16.
Out of 16.
And talking about the submarines, the Pampinito was the American submarine that did the job, most of it. And it had been researched, we were in the sights of the Pampinito, and he says, don't waste one on that old boat. It won't make it to Japan anyhow. So that's how bloody lucky we were.